All right, boys. As you can see, I did end up getting Young Emperor. I woke up the other day and I just felt it in my bones that I needed to summon. So I ended up doing a paid summon on his banner and I got a fake out Noel. And I was devastated. So I did another paid summon and I ended up getting my first Ganon in months, which led to my last Miracle Isliid. So in today's video, we are going to be doing a showcase on him because he is actually like diabolically insane. He is such a good unit. So we're going to go over his entire kit real quick, starting with his skill. Increase arts gauge by 30. That's cool. That's pretty standard. But within the first 90 seconds of the quest, it's 100 arts, which is insane. In the first minute and a half of the quest, every time you use his skill, he's getting 100 arts. That is an absurd amount of arts gen on a skill. But his art, probably, you honestly won't use this art that much unless maybe the boss has some evasion. Increases all allies stats by 30% and reduce enemies evasion by 30% for 20 seconds. So it also, this stats does act as a sort of heal, but there's so many units on Mono Light that have stats up that this won't stack with, so I'm not too crazy about it. And then we have his true art, which is going to increase damage to enemy by 50% and his own super crit rate by 50% for 50 seconds. The 50% super crit is a lot. That's a super crit is 3x damage. Half of his attacks are doing 3x damage. That's crazy. And then we have his super art, the main part of his kit, 160,000% multiplier. It's a little low, but the effect more than makes up for it. Increase all allies arts gauge by 50, so there is a little bit of arts gen on there. Great. Increases light units damage by 150% for 45 seconds. Stacks. It stacks. And an additional 50% when the super art is activated within 90 seconds of the quest. So, yeah, he has a 200% stackable damage buff for light units. That's insane. This man makes light units do a stupid amount of damage. I wish I had Saitama and Kenshin so I could fully utilize the Mono Light physical, but I do have a pretty solid Mono Light magic team that we will be using to take down a pretty hard fight, and we will showcase the absurd amount of damage that this man can do and that he can get light allies to do, because this super art, a 200% stacking damage buff is actually insane. I think the highest stacking damage buff is probably, like, besides this, is probably like Okarune's, and that's like 80%. 200? Like, oh my god. And then that's not even it. We go to his abilities. He has 10% magic DR passively. Cool. Sorcery release. This is actually kind of an insane passive. All allies arts gauge up 30 when battle starts. So this is every wave. At the start of every wave, he's going to increase all 4 units arts by 30. That's kind of crazy. And then he also has 100% crit rate up when his HP is 80% or more. So try to keep him healthy and he just gets passive crit. Then we're going to go over his best in slots. So he is actually a 5/5/5 unit, and his LB7 is going to give him a 5-star support. So it's a little unfortunate that, like, his slots aren't physical, defense, magic support. They're a little bit, like, they're not very optimal, but they're still really good. For his magic slot, it's kind of just throw in whatever you got there. Whatever your best magic equip is. Maybe you want damage up for him. Maybe you want more arch gen. Rin Tosca's outfit is a great for both. Great damage up, great arch gen. And then his true weapon is going to be physical. So this is where you would put that. The true Amatsukado. All right, we're going to take a look at that real quick just so you can see what that is, because it is pretty solid. And it's also very good on other units too. So reduce enemies light res by 30% for 10 seconds. It has a 10k multiplier. I don't have it LB'd. I think it's probably got like a 50-second cooldown. Don't really know. This passive is for all units. Anybody who has this equip gets this passive. Arts gauge 20 up when battle starts and makes this equip usable. So at the start of every battle, it's going to refresh its cooldown so you can use it again, and it's going to give whoever's wearing it 20 arts. That it has a 10k multiplier, so it refreshing every battle. This could be really good for farming. I did hear somebody say that the hitbox is a little small, so it might be a bit problematic there, but 10k and it just refreshes every battle might be kind of crazy for farming. And then Emp's passive, when equipped by Last Miracle Isliid, physical damage 70% up and autofills arts gauge by 1. I really, really wish that that was just damage up 70%, but it's physical. And the issue with that is Emp actually, his super art does magic damage. So you're not getting the 70% damage up here because it's doing magic, not physical. But his true art does do physical damage, and this does do quite a big chunk of damage, as you can imagine. With 50% super crit, you got like maybe, let's say you only have 3 stacks. That's still 600% damage up. That's absurd. All right, that's his whole kit. And for the defense equip, probably whatever you need for the fight. Support equip, just your best support equip. That's pretty much it. And then crests, I'd recommend like attack up, equip CT, arts gauge up. I have crit damage up just because I wanted him to do a little bit more damage. But equip CT is probably better here. And I think that's it for his kit. Now let's take a look at his animation. So here's his attack. Just a slash or 2. And then his skill, couple stabs in a slash. Art, more slashes. True art, he like breaks something and then does more slashes and stabs and pokes and a slice right there at the end. I don't know. And then his super art, this one is pretty cool. All right, and then he's just going to do a bunch. It kind of reminds me of a combination of Shadow's true art and BFM's super art at the end. So like the start of it right here, this is Shadow's true art. And then this part right here is like half of BFM's super art. But pretty cool animations. His super art is a little bit long. It's a little too long. Like you got to do this whole animation right here where he charges up and then he does it. And then that right there does a ton of damage. The final slash does so much damage. But let's show that off. All right, here we go. First thing we are going to fight is going to be with this team right here. A solid Monolight Magic team. So good. We are going to go into the Light Summoner's Road, okay? We are going to go to stage 4 of Light Summoner's Road. And this boss right here is not supposed to take damage until you break it. And here is a clip of me trying, like, me nuking it with, Okaroon, okay? This is how much damage Okaroon did to this boss. So, as you can see, like, this boss does not take that much damage unless you break her. So, keep that in mind for the astronomical amount of damage we are about to do. Like, it's kind of silly. Also, this is a little bit of a show-off of how crazy that 30 arts up is. Like, everybody, you'll see. We're just gonna, once we get it going here, so we're gonna start with a super art out of him. And then we have a true art with Makoto to get stats up. Give him some holy drops. And we're going to see just how insane this stuff gets. So right here, look at everybody's arts. And then just boom. He gets his super art right away. We got Index's super art. We have super art over here. It's just everybody gets so much archgen at the start of the battle. It's actually insane. And now we're just going to do it again. Like, how did he go from, like, 140 to max? That, it's just a little silly. But, you know, I'm completely here for it. He just speeds it up so much for just, like, farming stages. And then once you get to the final fight, you... Like, I already have, like, 4 or 5 stacks. And then, you know, we're just going to do a little bit of damage. Just a little bit. So let's get that going, and I should probably use my true art to get some super crit. Might be a good idea. And here we go with Railgun. Railgun is about to do an absurd amount of damage. So, yeah, that was, like, we've already done just as much damage as Okaroon did, which is, in my opinion, absolutely insane. Because that was an Okaroon charge with, like, I was using Okaroon's True Art in the previous waves. I had a Hoka Super Art. I had an HK Roy Super Art and Phantom Bullet. I had a Summer Miyu was stacking her True Art the entire time. Like, the amount of damage was just insane. Like, we barely did any damage with that comp, and look at that chunk. Like, these Railgun Super Arts are doing more damage than Okaroon Super Arts because of Young Emp. That's actually insane. That she's able to do this stupid amount of damage. And Young Emp himself is actually doing a ton of damage, almost just as much as Railgun. They're so good. It's his damage buffing capabilities are by far better than any other unit in the game, and it's disgusting. Like, look at that damage. And this is, oh my god. It's beautiful, bro. It's beautiful. The Mono Light is going to do so much more damage with Young Emp. I think if you have him, he should be on literally like all of your Mono Light teams. You don't even need a DPS if you have him. That's how much damage buffing he does. He becomes a DPS. Keep in mind, he has like 160,000% multiplier on his super art. And then he's got 50% super crit, which, you know, that is a lot, but that's like it. That's all bro really has. All right, we need a True Art out of Railgun here for some stats up before we all die. Okay, and then get that going. Like, this is a crazy fast clear for not breaking this boss. I urge you to try this. Like, take your best comp into this fight and just try to kill it. Do as much damage as you can. This is an insane amount of damage for this fight. Like, an actually insane. Oh, like, bro, it's beautiful. That's like a 2-minute clear on this fight without breaking it is crazy. We had Railgun hitting 11 million. We'll go over the details in a second, but... Oh, I guess we can't go over the details. All right, Railgun had like 11. Young Emp had like 7 million. I think Furin and Index are usually both tied at around like 4 or something. So, like, this comp right here does a stupid amount of damage. It's insane. If you picked up Railgun and or Index, Young Emp is crazy. If you have any Monolight units, you don't even need a Monolight unit. Honestly, he's still crazy. By himself, I'm sure he would be insane. Just as a damage dealer. Also, this artwork goes so hard. I love it. This one, he looked kind of weird. He looked goofy. But this one, it goes so hard. They cooked with this. And it's animated. Hold up. If we go to the home screen, it's animated. Look at that. It's beautiful. I'm so glad I got him. He is such a good unit. If you guys got him, so lucky. He's amazing. But we are not done yet. We have a Titan Roy fight to do. Just literally, we do one like with every showcase because he's like a pretty standard boss. Hard boss, just like stat-wise. He does a ton of damage. He's got a big chunk of health. But if we go here, wrong button. New save load feature. Kind of nice. Do like it. Go here, load up our last comp. We are using the light relics now. Light relics are actually insane. So let's test it out. Let's see how absurdly broken his damage potential is without a DPS. There's no DPS on this team. It's pretty much just Young Emp. Young Emp is my DPS. So we're going to start with a True Art to get his super crit going. And then get a little bit of arts right there. Get Mako's True Art up just for some more heals. And then hopefully we'll have a SGL Super Art. And there we go. And that's just like an insane amount of damage up already. We're pretty much just going to go threshold to threshold, killing him like as soon as his attack is over. Index actually does a surprising amount of damage when paired with Young Emp. Like, what is Young... Index's multiplier is the same as Young Emp's, and she's just doing a crazy amount of damage for being who she is. All right, let's make sure we don't die here because that would be kind of tragic. Okay, Cape of Reincarnation, W. This team is so healthy, too. And boom, just like that, we have another Young Emp Super Art. And another Index Super Art. Just Mono Light is such a fun team. If you don't have a good Mono Light team, I would highly recommend trying to get one. Because all forms of Mono Light are so fun because they have so much Arch Gen. Like, I can just spam everything over and over. Look at how fast the boss is dying. And look at how healthy we are. We're all at full health. And if we ever take a big chunk of damage, watch, boom. SGL full heals with Betzfald. If you have SGL LB7, get Betzfald. This equip is so good on her. And literally, that's the fight. He died that quick. I barely had to do anything. It was so easy. Like, you need to understand how broken Young Emp is for damage buffing. He is by far the best damage buffer in the game. No other unit is getting close to 1,000% damage up. And he can do it pretty easily. With, like, just other Archgeners helping him get to 300 arts. Within the first 90 seconds of the quest, he can easily get to 1,000% damage up. For light units. So, overall, I am absolutely stoked that I got him. I was like, when I got him, I actually felt it in my bones. I knew I was going to get a Young Emp. As soon as I woke up, I was like, I'm going to pull out my phone, do some polls, and I'm getting Young Emp. And it happened. So now we get to cook with him. My Mono Light is looking a lot better as of recently. Before, it was okay. But now we just recently picked up Railgun, Young Emp, and Index. Before that, my Mono Light team was probably like SGL, BF Emperor, and then we had Freerin and like Shuna. But now we are cooking. We are cooking with Young Emp, with Index, with Freerin, with Railgun. It's such a diabolical team comp. And I'm so excited for the future of Mono Light with Young Emp. He is probably the best light unit. It's just insane how much damage up he has. And if you got him, congrats. If you didn't get him, maybe try. I think he's a better unit than Platina and Orvel. So spending your alch on him is completely like warranted. Like, he's that good. But if you're missing a breaker, probably save for Platina and Orvel. Yeah, you just get Young Emp. This man's disgusting. But that's going to be it for the Young Emp showcase. Try your best to get him. He is an absolutely insane unit. This man is generational. He is a generational damage buffer. And I cannot wait to see the future of Mono Light with him on my team. And yeah, that's going to be it for this video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, join the Discord. The link is in my channel description. And yeah, that's it. See ya!